Okay, we can get started. Start the works here. We can get started. Start the works here. All right, Jake.
Adequate notice of this meeting is provided in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, and published in the Asbury Park Press on January 10th, 2017, and revised via email on June 19th, 2017.
Thanks, Kevin. Roll call, please.
Mayor Coles?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Here.
He's not here.
He's not here.
Not here.
But someone who thinks someone who wants to be deputy mayor is here. Come on.
Committeeman Lichtenstein?
Here.
Here.
Committeeman Ackerman?
Here.
Committeeman Delia?
Here.
Please stand for the flag salute and remain standing for the prayer. And to the United States for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Heavenly Father, we humbly ask thy blessing upon this township committee and all those in authority so that they may serve the people. Look down with mercy on our weaknesses and stretch forth your divine power to guide us. All this we ask in thy name. Amen.
Have a motion to approve the minutes, the executive workshop, the regular minutes of June 8th. Approved. Moved by Mike, seconded by Isaac. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, before we open the meeting to the public, I'd like to ask Mr. Mike Lindenwood to come forward. Mike has a brief presentation for us tonight.
Good evening, Mayor and committeemen and professionals.
Mr. Klein, please.
5555. Mr. Mayor, we have to get positive press tonight. It's rare. Mr. Payton's visit tonight. You got it? Mr. Mayor, committeemen, professionals, I come here tonight as a proud resident of Lakewood, as a proud Lakewood High School graduate, as a proud attorney who sues the Lakewood Board of Education. I come here tonight from court where I had 12 cases against Lakewood in Trenton today, where unfortunately I cannot say it's gotten any better, but in my opinion only gotten worse. Who's to blame? I don't know. I don't blame. But I know the kids who came in wheelchairs and who came with reading issues, they're not the ones to blame today, and they're not the ones to blame ever. From there, I went to the high school graduation tonight, the same podium I spoke from in 1983, the best to be. Then we were speaking about Ronald and Nancy Reagan and saying no to drugs. Then there were many teachers there. Then there were many kids going to college. Today it's a different Lakewood, but I think what changed my whole presentation tonight is when I heard the valedictorian, if that's what she was. I couldn't hear because there were so many people there. But she said something to the effect, and I paraphrase. She says, when I go to work and I say I'm from Lakewood, they say, Lakewood? You work? When I say I'm going to college, they say, Lakewood? You're going to college? Now this is what I heard. Was it exact? It was pretty close. What a sad irony it is that we had a saying, we are Lakewood, we are somebody. In 2012, they ripped that sign down. But tonight, Mr. Mayor and committeemen, I don't come to petition you for $1.6 million, because I don't know if they need $1.6 million. I don't come to tell you, let the state pay for it, because you know that. The state's responsible. I come to you as a resident and taxpayer to tell you we've had enough. No threats. You know, it was cute today, you saw Tom, or yesterday, Tom's River's trying to copycat us. They wanted to take buses. Chickened out, I don't know, they weren't allowed. I did tell their attorneys in court, because I had a Tom's River case today in Trenton. I said, you should pay for the buses. Gets you there quicker. He didn't. But tonight we have people, and I want to call LJ up here, who I know from when, I know, let's just put it that way. LJ is our LJ is our football coach. Let me give you some statistics of our football team. 5 straight playoff appearances. Didn't happen for many years under his leadership. First playoff win in 2016. Now, I didn't play football, let's not fool ourselves. I played tennis, nice sport. Won the division in 2016 for the first time in 12 years. They won 33 games in a 6-year span. They have kids on full scholarships going to Kane, William Patterson, Wesley, Temple, Wagner, Stony Brook, Villanova. Not my alma mater, St. John's. We could change that. This year we have a student who's graduating from Lakewood High School. Introduce yourself, sir.
Tayon.
Yeah.
Tayon.
Tayon played baseball, played football. He's going on a full scholarship to a university in South Carolina. Let's have a hand for him. It gets better. We have several juniors, including my new friend, John Paul. John Paul, his family's from Peru. His parents work hard. He's a junior. He'll be one of our captains next year, if I remember correctly from meeting them before last Board of Ed meeting. Beautiful performance, gentlemen. And tonight, when I met him before court today, first time, he's going to Temple University on a 4-year scholarship. Thank you. We have other juniors too. Stand up. What's your name?
Joshua Leslie.
Josh, right? Josh's parents or father from Haiti, going to Villanova on a scholarship. Let's have a hand for him. We have others here, but I don't want to take your time because I get right to the point. You either love me or hate me. There's no in between. Thank you, Ray. First of all, I want to thank the committee and those who have helped. All of you have helped. But I've worked with Mayor Lichtenstein, Menashe Miller, Ray throughout the year with the busing and other things like that, legally mandated busing. But these guys need a football team. Now, I don't know and I don't care who's to blame. And by the way, let's have a round of applause for the superintendent, Ms. Winters, who's here. Ms. Winters made it clear last night she's not interested in being interim. And I'm making it clear if she's not made permanent superintendent, I'm not coming back. Surely I'm not supporting the guy that Governor Christie called a selfish blank. You read about it, Mr. Seitz. 2012, highest paid superintendent. I met him in my office, lovely fellow. But I need someone, and you need somebody, who needs support but knows Lakewood. She has had no support for several years. The board, very nice, but let's go back to these guys. They need $72,770. Now, I never can count on any number I get from Lakewood Board of Ed, and nor should you. However, in between court today, of course I can't find this guy, I can't find that guy, she's an interim, he's missing her, the monitors, I don't know. But I know there's LJ Clark, the head coach. I know if they're here, Gary Salerno, are you here? No, he's an assistant coach. Head coach gets $8,430. Assistant coaches get $5,978. Evans here? Noel's here? Coaches, you stand up if you're here. What are you looking so silly for? These are all teachers in the middle school and high school, so let me explain to you, and most of you know, whether you went to public school or not, you know. Coaches in our schools help kids go to school, help kids get good grades, improve attendance. Now this number 72, and I did send it to Mr. Henshaw got it, I believe, he said he did. According to what I can figure out, that's the best we can do, but I'm not the BA, nor was I ever, nor will I be. Coaching stipends are $44,300. Officials like refs and all that is $15,390. Entry fees is $80. Supplies and equipment $13,000. Comes out to $72,770. $72,770. I made a mistake, Mr. Mayor. I didn't make a mistake, but of course they forgot to include 2 other coaches. They're going to say, Michael, don't be a pig about it. Well, I'm going to be. It's $72,770. Plus and I am a Lakewood graduate, but math was not my forte. You add 5,978 times 2 to that number, whatever it equals, I don't know. 72 plus 10, it's about 84. Again, these are numbers that I can verify based on the information and speaking to this guy, the head coach. Yes, they need new uniforms. Why should they have to go to the Toms River South, or they come here on Thanksgiving?
They're coming here this year for the
Thanksgiving?
100th game.
Oh, good. They don't have to go with ripped uniforms. They don't have to go with broken mouthpieces. And we need this. And this is the only sport, I have Drum right here, but he's baseball. Say hi, Drum right. Okay, but this is the only sport, if I'm wrong, I want to be corrected because I don't look like I play sports currently. But I do. I call it sport of law. But it looks like the football team's the only team that needs the money now because they're the ones who have to start practicing. Now, they weren't practicing until I met with them 2 days ago, and I said, again, I'm just a resident, I'm not their lawyer. But I said, you start practicing, and Ms. Winters agreed. They need medicals, I don't know what they need, but they practice, they started this week. But they have to continue. See, this is the time for those of you like me who never played football, you work out, you train, you do all this stuff. These kids are ready to do it in between working, and all of them work. And let me say it this way, these are hardworking kids, and these are the kids who want to play football, and they want to go to college. So it's a no-brainer for me. And I don't need to beg the state for 80-something thousand, 72 plus 5,998, 84,000, let's call it. You don't need to beg the state, and there's no threats and this. I leave that for other people, for this guy to say this, and Russian and English, and I don't know what language they speak over there. But I know one thing, we need 84,000. I upped it. I did say 72,770, but I wasn't told about 2 coaches. You want to give 72,770, so be it. But there are 2 more coaches.
They coach at the middle school level.
Coach at the middle school level, 2 of them, who were forgotten on the list I got. I don't know. Maybe we should hire not a new attorney, but a new, I don't know, a new monitor. Maybe. And Mr. Azara knows I'm here, but I'm not asking for $1.6 million. I spoke to him today several times from court. I'm not his shlakid. I'm not asking you for money for what I don't know what I can't ask. But I am asking you for 84,000. So, if I could, Mayor, I know I'm taking more than I just want you to meet some Lakewood people you don't see here often. What's your name? I got you already. You over there.
Ty Pierce.
What grade you in?
I'm gonna be a junior.
Junior.
John Webb.
Tell them I know you.
My name's John Webb. I'm gonna be a senior this year.
Angel.
You gotta speak up. Don't be shy. These guys are your friends.
9th
Angel
grade.
going my freshman year.
I'm here, Birdie.
What grade? Senior. This year, coming senior?
Yeah, it'll be soon.
You're gonna be senior.
Jared Jones, upcoming senior.
Simon Calhoun, upcoming junior.
Next football player.
Oh, Richard, you
Tell them I know you.
upcoming senior.
Jared Jones, upcoming senior.
Tell them. What are you looking at me for?
Ethan Evans, upcoming senior.
By the way, he's the best dresser also. Okay. Yeah. Next.
Sam Harden, upcoming,
Graduate, yeah, that's cool.
He's the one who's going to South Carolina. Next.
Kyrie Jenkins, upcoming senior. Joshua Leslie, upcoming senior.
The one who gets Villanova. Right. Miss Winters, you know. Hopefully we'll know you longer, Miss Winters. How about some of the coaches?
Gene Drumright, soccer, baseball, I've met you guys before, I really appreciate it, and I'm just trying to give support to Ms. Winters and these guys.
Who are you, buddy?
Lou Pecorelli, football coach.
Mike Muth, Lakewood graduate, football coach, Lakewood Middle School, phys ed teacher.
Steve Van Heist, coach and teacher.
Just to show you what a multicultural town we are, his wife teaches in Shy. Is that okay to say? Go ahead. Oh no, physical therapist, something like that, gym or something. You play football?
I just came here to support the team,
Good support. Do you play football?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Alexis.
So these are the kids of Lakewood who we need you to help today, not tomorrow. Please don't make us beggars. Please just help us and let the state pay the rest. Thank you, man. Oh, okay.
You said before that the team is important to these guys, and that's true. But it's also true that the team and the program is very important to Lakewood Township, both to the people who go to the public schools and the rest of us here. We're very proud every time we see a headline that you guys have made the playoffs and had a victory. Even when you lose, you hold your heads high, and we are proud of you. And it's our pleasure to be able to say to you tonight that you will be playing next year. And we will support I hope all you need to worry about and your practices. All this other stuff about money and stuff, it shouldn't be bothering you guys in high school. You deserve a couple more years of just being kids. I know you're young men, but still, pretend that you're a kid for a while, because trust me, it's going to go awfully fast. So, good luck in the upcoming season. Congratulations to our graduate. Congratulations to everybody else as you go up to the next grade. We expect big things from you, and we're very, very proud of you, and thank you for representing Township of Lakewood the way that you do.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I just have to do my phone cells. Does that mean we have $84,000?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's have a hand. Go shake their hand. Other guys go shake their hand.
Dante, sit down, Dante.
Give me your email address. I'm gonna write you something.
Sure, it's LJ Clark, CLARK 1 at OPTonline.net. .net.
See, this is an idea of what we're trying to do. It's called a CLEP scholarship.
Awesome.
See it in the subject line.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Marcy, told me you're ready.
Yeah, I got to do that myself.
I was going to survive. I thought he said. So, yeah, about it.
I was gonna pull up if they would have said no. No.
Slated to go back to your tenured position. He took this kid, they took the superintendent. I assume that they were going to give.
Okay, we're going to get back to the meeting now. Joyce?
I told him.
Oh, well, I don't know, just asking.
At this point, we're going to open the meeting to the public. If anybody would like to be heard, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Please keep it under 4 minutes.
All right. David Druckeroff, 1433 Laurelwood Avenue. This is something that came from Israel, but it also applies in this country. It came from the Israel Religious Action Center, which is a civil rights reform movement. And now I'll read what it says. This came from Nat Hoffman, who represents that group. This Friday night, I am hosting 15 people for Shabbat dinner. I plan to make a delicious Shabbat dinner that will consist of the traditional challah and hummus, potato leek soup, roasted chicken and potatoes, seasoned with rosemary, chopped Israeli salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, red pepper, green onion, and naan, spearmint, roasted vegetables, and a dessert of melon, watermelon, and a delicious chocolate cakes, not to mention plenty of wine. While I love cooking for so many people, it can be stressful. Going to the supermarket are just busy as spending $250 to $300 just on the ingredients for the meal and the rush on Friday to cook everything to perfection by sunset. The Israeli government has offered to cover the bill of such a meal, as well as other cost of living expenses, provided that the host disseminate a particular brand of Judaism over dinner to their secular guests. In this new program, Batim Yahudim, Jewish homes, the Ministry of Religious Affairs offers to cover families' expenses including rent, property tax, electricity, and activity expenses if they meet certain criteria. Families eligible must be a married couple, one of which is a graduate of a particular type of Jewish studies program, and will provide at least 15 hours of Judaic programming a week in their home targeting secular Jews. These families will provide an Orthodox atmosphere and dress code, and their homes will be empty of immodest items and decoration. These criteria explicitly rule out non-Orthodox families from being accepted as hosts. I find it laughable that my Judaism is deemed not worthy by my government, that such a program can be created that ignores the wide variety of Jewish tradition and belief, encouraging citizens of this Jewish homeland to practice only one way, and provides yet another way for Jewish Orthodox families to receive government subsidies. This is the ugliest form of religious coercion and enforces the assumption that only Orthodox Jews have something to teach other Jews. And it's an insult to the idea of Jewish hospitality. The RAP's legal team has filed a complaint against the Ministry of Religious Affairs and is bringing up problems with the program to the public eye. And I wrote them back and said, this is why Israel should adopt the First Amendment. Government should stay out of religion, and religion should stay out of government. Please remember that there is Israeli citizens who are Arabs and Muslims who are helping to pay for this through their taxes. What does it mean in this country? This is why I don't believe in school vouchers. If you want to send your children to private school, fine, do that. I'm willing to provide secular education over the internet to a private school child, but there are limits. And yes, I'm very supportive of the public school students, and Lakewood High School is not merely the school in my town. I'm a graduate, class of 66. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Moshe Ritzik, 166 North Crest. Very nice gesture of Mr. Enzebach to donate his time to advocate on behalf of the football team. Appreciate the township stepping up. Not saying that on behalf of the Board of Ed, because I can't speak for them right now, but it's a very nice gesture. Thank you. I just wanted to just follow up about the resolution that we have on the agenda tonight for Northwest Place. Rumor has it that it's only going to be partially enforced. I just was asking again if that portion could be removed, that will not be enforced straight up, because, I mean, if that is true, because there's no timetable involved for it. It's not a trial period to see how long we would have it as a temporary one-way. Once it passes a resolution, it is for an indefinite amount of time. Therefore, the request is to remove that portion and to limit exactly where it would be utilized at this time, and have it clearly defined in the resolution so as not to have any unclarity as to when or how it might be implemented on the complete street. And again, as I mentioned last time, I wanted to amend the 7 to 7 request, but rather than 8 to 6 would be more palatable to the people who live there if you could do that as an alternate, or again, to reverse the direction of the one-way would be fine, I believe, for the residents throughout. Thank you again. I had reached out to Sergeant Work to discuss it. He had not returned my call. So again, it would have been easier having a second meeting where everyone could have sat down again to get clarity exactly what's being done. But in lieu of that, I just wanted to stop by to share that with you, that it's still not 100%, but I know you guys are going to do the right thing. Have a great night. Thank you.
Seeing nobody else? If you want to come to the microphone, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Yuda Lieberman, Jan Lieberman. I live here in Lakewood, Penester Court. This morning I had surgery on my wrist. What happened was I was driving down New Central, and the car was on Miller, and had stopped at the stop sign but didn't see me, and went forward and crashed into my car. My wife was in the crash, the same spot, same scenario. A car was at the stop sign and went through, and thank God she's well. I spoke to neighbors of mine, and on my block alone, I live in a small cul-de-sac. There was one other person who was in a crash there as well. And then, friends of mine, after they were all coming over, this guy's wife was in the crash, his brother was in the crash, his brother was in the crash. And it seems that, the town is, everyone is aware of this, and something is being done. But I just wanted to add to it, maybe a picture, a broken arm, that we shouldn't just have this continue as statistics. Thank you.
Glad you're okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, just so you know, we told the county that we want to expedite that out of this county.
Thank you.
Shlomo McLean, Chateau Park. I was testing something. I wanted to see how the township works. So a year ago, I came to this committee over here to the podium, and I was complaining about Cushman Street, intersection of Route 9, that there's some stripes that was repaved by a developer, water company, like 12 years ago, and nothing was done. Even a year later, a kid got, after that was repaved, and the stripes were like, two kids were pinned under a tire of a vehicle, almost got killed, and it didn't seem like anybody takes that in consideration. I came and complained about it, nothing was done. So I decided I'll go down to Public Works and complain about it myself. They sent me to the Department of Traffic and Safety. I went over there, they said they'll look into it, nothing happened. I took privilege and I went into the manager's office and I complained about it, with what's going on over here. And then I started getting answers. So this is what the answer I got. The Department of Public Works told me that the original striping was not legal. So you have to do a whole process with the DOT. Department of Traffic and Safety told me that actually it was done with permits and design with the DOT, and it has to be repaved. But the township will not do it because the water company has to do it. So we'll wait another 10 years. The reason why I'm telling you this story, I know this is not the right venue to come because you're represented from Nevada, and the only job that you have is to give away taxpayer money and give away taxpayer land for all these nonprofits that are coming up now, and you're giving it out like matzo balls. That's your job. You got elected for that. But people don't understand why Route 9 is not getting done, the county roads are not getting done, and you're keeping on saying you're working it as they can. Let me put it this way. If you guys don't know how to fix your own roads, just simply restriping something or not letting the water company or the developer get away with it, and this is going on for tens of years that it's going to go on, that it's a simple restriping that should keep the intersection safe and smooth, and this is not getting done, how do you expect people to believe that you know how to advocate for the county or the state? But what I'm trying to put aside is what you could do. There's a township manager over here, Tom Henschel. My opinion, again, this is what I see, he's doing a great job. But the problem is that every time a township employee does something, everybody lines up and tries to take credit, and this is abuse. If the VAD has to get something that we collected, the VAD takes credit. If any of the committee members have to get elected, they take credit. If LCSW has to get a piece of land, they take credit. Like this week, we have Tom Cheshabas getting the land. I could just imagine what the scoop will write. Tom Cheshabas is increasing their free food for families, and it will decrease traffic because people will not have to go to the supermarkets. So, and he'll take credit for the traffic problem that is in Lakewood, that he's solving it. And everybody lines up like this and taking credit. And I think this is, finishing up, I think this is abuse of a township employee that is doing his job, and other people take credit that they shouldn't take.
Thank you very much.
Did I say anything that is not correct, that you have a response for that, or you agree with what I just
I agree with
said?
everything you said, but I don't have a response for you right now, but thank you for your time. Anybody else?
So,
Good evening, Aaron Hirsch, Chestnut area. I was, in the last week and a half, I've been to the planning and zoning boards. And it's not because I'm bored, I have nothing better to do, it's just very frustrating things coming up to my area. I realize, they asked you to change ordinances, which you did on March 2nd. You made something more stricter, that they have to come and plan to the planning board on a checklist, and that became you voted on that, and sent it back to them, because that's what they requested, so we gave it to them, only for them to just turn around and say, variance, variance. Same thing with zoning. I really think there's something called, a word called insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. It's time to clean up those two boards. It's time. People have been there over 20 years. It's time for a fresh one. You know, I know you're trying to do a good job, and I commend you for that, but really, we have to start moving some people off of that, because obviously, people are not happy in this town the way things are going with traffic and development. We have to do some serious changes to those boards. I was very upset. They did us a favor 2 nights ago, and they gave us R20 to R10, and they did us a favor in my neighborhood. I don't get it. It's such beautiful favors. I'm doing it on county roads, which are supposed to be widened, and the county's counting on R20, and they're counting on a certain amount of cars, and it's killing their calculations, because when they put it in, their survey will be done with the county, and guess what? It's just going to be screwed up forever. We have to keep the zones. Zones were created for a reason, and I believe we're supposed to follow county zones as well, the way county's master plan as well, and we just deviate and do it. And they say, you know, you guys control the land use. Land use is up to the town. So we really got to get in control. I think, you know, you guys are really trying to do the right thing, but I think they asked you to pass laws, and you guys did it. And maybe they're not giving you all the feedback that they really need to, but I think really things really need to be shaken up a little. I think you guys care and you want to do that, and you know, something's sit on the shelf for too long, you have to move it off. They've been there really, you know, but we thank them for the services. You know, I don't think anyone did it in a mean, bad way, and just that's the way I feel with that. Now, I also wanted to follow up. I haven't heard back with regards to my backyard with the flea market. I just wanted to bring it up again because I haven't heard anything since the last meeting. Hoping Mr. Henshaw, Mr. Seeker could get back to me or let me know what's going to be with that.
Do me a favor, I will ask Tom or Steve to reach out to you.
Can you get an email you already? You haven't? Okay. Thank
Call
you.
me at the office, Mr. Hirsch, if you want.
I should call your office. Okay, I will email you for the number.
I'll email you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Harold's card, move the land use.
Seeing nobody else, we will close the public portion. Looking for agenda?
Is this on the agenda? Is this a particular agenda, or this is open for the public?
No, the meeting's been open to the public.
I just wanted to express my appreciation. Oh, and then just
We'll reopen the meeting to the public for 1 second. Last speaker, please name and address for the record.
Mike Friedman, 220 Carey Street. I just wanted to express my appreciation to the committee because the yellow lines were done on the streets, and we just didn't want the yellow lines for the yellow lines. We wanted to get people to park there, and we hope that this will be enough to get people to stop parking at those corners.
Okay, thanks on Public Works, they did a good job. We're going to be going out to the whole town over the summer, trying to get caught up on lines like that. So thanks for bringing it forward.
Okay, thank you.
We thank him for not taking 3 months to come thank us. So for not taking 3 months to come thank us, like it took us to pay for it.
You don't do it right away, it doesn't get done. Thank you very much.
Now we're going to close the meeting to the public. Consent agenda. Motion. Second. Moved by Manas, second by Isaac. Anything anybody wants removed?
I'm not going to vote on 21 and 29.
Okay, is the strand for license on this one?
It is.
Yes, I can abstain from the liquor license for the strand.
Okay, roll call, please.
Committeeman Ackerman,
Yes.
Committeeman Delia,
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein,
Yes, aside from 21, 29.
Deputy Mayor Miller,
Yes.
and Mayor Coles.
Yes, abstaining on the strand liquor license. Okay, ordinances for second reading.
Ordinance to the Township of Lakewood, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 11 entitled Traffic of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Lakewood. This is the one-way on North Crest.
Open the meeting to the public.
Shlomo Klein, 189. By the way, it's supposed to be 5 minutes. It's not supposed to be 5 minutes either, but usually when I come up over here and I ask the committee what this ordinance is all about, I don't get answers. Or I get, I don't know, or it says, ask the attorney, but they usually don't know what they're voting on. I will just explain this ordinance like this. We know what we're voting on. This ordinance, you could say, belongs in the township of Chelon. Because we all know that you cannot pass through parking cars both sides. Two-way streets you can't pass through. You go through every development because they're making a 32 feet road, wide roads, and in Lakewood it doesn't work. And it could be fixed. There's a process. They said it by the master plan subcommittee, the traffic. They said that there's a way as you could enact an ordinance that you could have the developers have to make wider roads. And this is not going to happen with the developers / VAB being in charge of this town. I'm just saying is it's doable. So what does the township come up with a solution? We'll make one-way streets, not wider roads. We'll make one-way streets. So the solution of the problem of making wider roads is not making the roads wider, is just to make the streets one way. And I'd like to ask the committee, I just want to put it on the record. Is the VAB behind this ordinance? I know it's going to come up in a year from now, elections, and the VAB tries to take credit for whatever goes on. I just want to know is if the VAB is the one that asked for this ordinance. Second question, who asked for this ordinance? And the reason why I'm asking who's asking for this ordinance, because if we don't know who asked, it sounds like, if there's no paper trail, it sounds like a cash deal. I don't mean cash literally. But I'm saying is that if we don't know, corruption could stand for when we don't know. That's the reason why it's a good thing to know who is the one that asked for this ordinance. It might be a good ordinance, but let's find out who's the one that asked. So I'm asking two questions, and I would like, on this one at least, to get an answer.
As far as I know, the VOD doesn't even know this ordinance is on. I've not spoken to anybody from the VOD about it. Nobody has contacted me about it. I was asked probably a month or so into this year when I became mayor to meet with a bunch of residents from Westgate. Don't remember all their names, sorry. But they have been talking about it for quite a while, trying to bring it to a resolution. I asked Frank Word to be here tonight, he could explain it if anybody had questions about it. I know there were some folks in Westgate who were against it. I know running mate, in fact, is one of them. But I got a lot of people from the development saying that this is something that we need, that we want. It's a safety issue for our kids. Do not have to walk a long distance to the buses. The buses will now come through and pick children up at intervals rather than having to congregate. The only reason that I put the ordinance up is because residents of Westgate came to me, and that's it.
So you don't know, like, to identify who it is, but you just know they're residents and not any political or special interest or anything like that.
I don't know the names, I don't remember the names offhand, I do know a lot of people. And to be honest with you, when something needs to be done, I don't think it's a matter of who the individual is, it's what you're doing. If what you're doing is the right thing, then you go ahead, and if you have a disagreement with somebody that you get along, somebody that I'm running with, that I respect a great deal, we have a disagreement about this, but I'm gonna move forward on it one way, because I think that's the best solution to a bad situation.
So we're going to have now have another minute, by the way. Just 4 minutes, and one more minute to the mic over here. So we could expect now to start seeing more one-way streets versus fixing the problem.
Actually, I talked to a developer today, or yesterday, I would say today, who's looking at a project, and I asked him about wider roads, and I thought 40-foot roads would be a much better solution to town. And he agreed with me. He said that, when he puts his plan through, I could consider that. I intend to ask the master plan committee to include wider roads, because I think that the 40-foot or 38, whatever it's going to be at, will allow parking on either side of the road, as well as to have enough access through the buses, trucks, fire trucks, garbage trucks, emergency vehicles. So nobody has asked me about that. It's something that I've just come to understand is an issue. and I'm going to see if we can't get it codified in the ordinance.
Could we get it in a letter like you gave with the density to give a letter to the master plan that they have wide roads?
Email that has it, and I'm going to request it, okay?
Thank you.
Anybody else on this ordinance?
Naftali Hess, 85 North Crest Place. Yeah, there's a special interest over here. My kids and thousands of other kids that live in Westgate. I think it'd be a lot safer for them when they go to school and throughout the day, safer for a lot of cars to avoid any head-ons. I've seen it all the time, and I think that most people are in agreement that it has to be changed. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
Want to speak on this ordinance?
Good evening. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to
Hold the mic down a little bit. Can you
come.
give us your name and address?
Mayor Leifer, 2 Clarksville Road, corner of North Crest Place. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to do this. I was in a head-on collision on the corner of Klex and Radin, the end of Klex. That would have been avoided had it been a one-way street. Thank God nothing happened to anyone. And but I was making a left turn from Radin onto Klex. The car coming down Klex. I didn't have visibility. There was a car parked in the corner. And there were probably cars parked on both sides. There's really not room to go all the way up to the right. And it's inviting a collision. I was in another collision on the corner of North Crest at the bend by the park. There's a 90-degree bend. And there, as soon as I finished making the turn, there was a car directly in front of me. And I swerved all the way to the right to avoid hitting him and smashed into a car that was parked. Thank God there was no one standing there and nothing happened to anybody. I did not have a head-on collision, but I did smash the car on the right. There was a third incident that happened to me on the same corner by the park. A bus was making the turn, and the bus bumped the back of my car. Again, thank God nothing happened to anybody, but it's a dangerous corner. All 3 accidents would not have happened had there been one-way street. In addition, I cannot imagine how a fire truck would get through that street if there was a car coming towards them. There's not room for it. I've seen cars have to back up when a garbage truck is there. You just have to back up. There's no room around it. Many times I would drive on Klex or North Crest, and a car would be coming at me. There wouldn't be room for both of us. So one of us would have to pull into a parking spot on the side just to avoid it. It just doesn't seem safe. My children have to walk, instead of being picked up on the corner of Klex and North Crest where we live, they would have to walk down to Hillside. And I dread the thought of a slippery, slushy, icy sidewalk and my first grader walking by herself down the street. If something would, God forbid, happen, my wife is not there to look out the window, and I'm all in favor of having one. Thanks.
See nobody else, we'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Moved by Mayor, second by Mike. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Ackerman.
Yes.
Committeeman Delia.
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller.
Yes.
Mayor Coles.
Yes. Thank you all. All right, ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance of the Township of Lakewood County, Ocean State, New Jersey, amending and supplementing chapter 24 taxation, section 24-3.1 definitions, 24-3.3 application for exemption, and 24-3.4 consideration approval of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Lakewood 1999. This is the pilot ordinance.
Thank you.
So
We have a motion.
Lichtenstein.
Moved by Mayor. Second. Second by Minaj. Any discussion, roll call? Excuse me 1 second, Frank. I meant to say, you can leave a little forward. Thank you very much for coming out. Thanks for all the work that you put into this project.
Thanks so much.
Roll call?
Yes.
Committeeman Ackerman?
Yes.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Ordinance passes first reading, second reading, July 13th.
Ordinance of the Township of Lakewood County, Ocean State, New Jersey, so as to amend Chapter 18 entitled the Unified Development Ordinance of 2005 to amend and create various
I'll move it.
Moved by Mayor, second by Isaac. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Ackerman?
Yes.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Yes, ordinance passes first reading, second reading, August 10th.
Ordinance of the Township of Lakewood County, Ocean State, New Jersey, amending the code of the Township of Lakewood by adding a section entitled 16-6, Outdoor Landscape Water Conservation Guidelines.
I'll move it.
Moved by Mayor, second by Menashe. Any discussion? Roll call.
Committeeman Ackerman?
Yes.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Yes, ordinance passes first reading, second reading, August 10th.
Ordinance.
Mayor, I'm sorry, can I ask a quick question? Does that give us enough time? I think on number 2, it has to go through the planning board. I just realized that. Does that give us enough time for that?
Yes.
If it doesn't, you can always carry it.
I can't vote no.
Mayor?
I heard.
Ordinance of the Township of Lakewood County, Ocean State of New Jersey, so as to create a chapter, Board of Health, Chapter 21, entitled Wellhead Protection in the Board of Health Code, to create a new section.
Moved by Menashe. Second by Isaac. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Ackerman?
Yes.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Yes, ordinance passes first reading, second reading, August 10th. Anybody want to move the correspondence? So made. Moved by Menashe. Second by Mike. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Motion to approve the bill list.
So moved.
Moved by the Mayor, second by Menashe. Sorry, Mike. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Ackerman?
Yes.
Committeeman Delia?
Yes.
Committeeman Lichtenstein?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Coles?
Yes. Any comments from committee members? Mayor?
Nothing from me.
Menashe?
Reminding everyone that we have the upcoming celebration of Independence Day, the July 3rd fireworks. People ask us why we think we do July 3rd, not July 4th. We save a lot of money by doing July 3rd. We look forward to seeing you at the fireworks.
Mike?
Nothing. Speaking of that pump, the Health Public Works down by the lake, by the grandstand, they installed a brand new door, the storage area underneath. We're here today, actually. The door knob is locked, get all the our locks into something. A new lock, something sturdy to hold the storage there. Now, by the grandstand, the new door that was installed.
No, thank you. Yeah, I just want to know, Menashe, is it expensive? You seem interested in having a lock there.
For the fireworks.
No, thank you.
I have nothing tonight. Motion to adjourn.
So made.
Everybody get home safe. Thank you for coming out.
Good night.
Thank you.